This video is about everything you need for a backpacking trip and staying in hostels. I have now backpacked and stayed in hostels on 5 different continents, so I do feel very comfortable sharing what I bring with me. I'm specifically going to be sharing products or items that you need when you stay in hostels or when you're backpacking. Whether you are a brand new backpacker or you have lots of experience, I hope you find these hostel packing tips helpful. The number one thing that you absolutely should not leave home without is tissues. As backpackers, we tend to do things on a budget. This means that we take long bus rides, and a lot of times we have these rest stops that don't have toilet paper. This may sound familiar to some of you. So having tissues on hand for those bus rides are an absolute must. Typically, hostels should have toilet paper. However, I have been to hostels that do not, or hostels that run out really quickly and then I have to use my tissues anyway. Same with hotels. I actually have been to hotels that barely gave me any toilet paper and I had to use my own. I have literally had to use tissues every single time that I have ever traveled anywhere. So I always keep a pack in my fanny pack and also in my day pack, plus extras in my big backpacking backpack in case I ever need them, which is often. Another really important thing to bring with you is a large charger cable and a power strip. In a lot of parts of the world, you will have very nice hostels where you'll have your own outlet right in your bed. However, this is not always the case. Some hostels will only have one outlet for the entire room. So having a long charger cable with you will help your phone reach your bed if you wanted to just chill in your bed and relax. So that could be really convenient to bring with you. And same with a power strip. I have this cute one. It has places to plug in your USB plus the normal chargers. I think this is really important and people in the hostel will love you if you have one. I personally though always bring it no matter what because I use it even when I have my own outlet right in my bed. Because I travel with so many electronics, I have my phone, my Kindle, my camera, my drone, my laptop, and there's probably more than that. So having this is a lifesaver. I use it every single time. So if you also have multiple electronics, then it is something to consider. The next one is a personal preference for me, but I like the backpacks that zip open like a suitcase instead of the backpacks where you have to go and dig through to find everything. That is just such a hassle, and having to remove all of your stuff every time just seems annoying to me. I prefer the ones that zip open, so something to consider as well. This is another one of my personal preferences, but I like universal adapters. I don't want to have to buy a new adapter for every region of the world I'm going to. It's better for me to just have a universal one and know that it will always work no matter where I go to. I've had this one for years. It's been to 5 different continents and it has worked every place I've ever been. Next up is packing cubes. I like packing cubes because they help me keep my things organized. However, not everybody likes packing cubes. If you don't like packing cubes, just skip this and move on. You don't have to use them. I do like them though, so I use what's called compression packing cubes. All that means is that there are 2 zippers instead of 1 zipper, and you're able to zip up the second zipper just like this, and it's supposed to compress your clothes even more and it will help it fit in your backpack. Another hostel necessity is locks. I have a big padlock for my locker so I could lock all my valuables away, but I also have small locks that I lock on my backpack. That way nobody can zip my backpack open. Even if you plan to put all of your things in a locker, it's still nice to have these when you're in transition. For me, it gives me peace of mind knowing that nobody's opening my backpack and pickpocketing it. So I have 2. I lock one on my laptop and then I lock another one on where I keep my ID, passport, cards, things like that. If you're looking to save money, which let's be honest, most backpackers are, you may want to consider doing your own laundry. That's why I always travel with a laundry bag. Inside it has a clothesline, so I'm able to hook it on the sides, usually like the sides of my bed. And then there are these, which is nice, so you could clip and hang. I also have soap and a sink stopper. To be honest, I've only used the sink stopper like once, I think. It did come in handy that one time though. However, for the most part, you probably don't need this if you're looking to save space. I do really like my laundry detergent sheets though, because they're really small. So I could take just a couple of them with me and they take up almost no room. It's also not a powder or a liquid, so I could bring as many of them as I want to. There's no requirement on how much I could bring. Plus, I don't have to worry about it spilling. I would hate for the powder to get everywhere and of course the liquid to get everywhere. So these are honestly perfect and I love them. Another thing you'll probably want is a portable charger. This one is a solar charger. I like it because I could hang it on the outside of my backpack and it could absorb the sun and charge while I am walking. If you're someone who does a lot of hiking, a lot of camping, or you go off the beaten path, I would recommend this since you're able to recharge it without having to plug anything back in. If you don't want a solar charger though, you could just get a regular one. We also have this one. It's small, so it's easier to pack than the solar charger, and it has the magnet, so you could just stick it onto the back of your phone, put your phone in your pocket in your backpack, and it's able to charge, or you could charge it using the bottom. Another thing to consider is a sarong. You could get so many uses out of a sarong. I use mine for so many different things. I use it as a beach towel, as a beach cover up. I use it as a curtain on my bed if my hostel doesn't come with its own curtain. And I also use it to cover up my shoulders if I'm entering a temple or a church. I don't use a sarong for my bath towel though. For my bath towel, I use a microfiber towel. Microfiber towels are good because they dry faster than cotton. So after you use it, you could hang it and it's supposed to dry faster. So I have this big one, but I also have a smaller one. I have this one. The bigger one is better and more convenient. However, if I really need to save space, then I can just bring this small one. I also have another little mini one that I use. This one is a washcloth, or you could use it to dry your face. Another one that you absolutely cannot leave home without are shower shoes. Shower shoes are really important because sometimes the showers aren't the cleanest, and it's better to have shoes on so you don't get any foot fungus or anything. Not saying the hostels are dirty, most of them are extremely clean, but it's still good to have. A good idea is to get what is called hybrid shoes, meaning you could wear them as everyday shoes, but you could also hike in them. Or you could look into hiking shoes or trail runners. That way you don't have to pack hiking boots plus your regular shoes. You could just bring one. So I have trail runners. These ones are from North Face, and they work great. I wear them as my everyday shoes every single day that I travel. Plus I've taken them on really hard hikes. I hiked a volcano in them with the loose gravel and everything, and they were fine. So this is a really good buy if you're looking to splurge a little bit. Then I'll also usually bring my chacos depending on where I'm going, especially if I'm going anywhere that's beachy or tropical with water, because it's easier to have chacos to kind of get like on and off the boat. I've seen so many times people have to take their shoes and socks off to cross rivers and to go into the beach, to get onto the boat, and that is just very annoying. So if you're going anywhere around water, I would do chacos or even water shoes. Like in the Philippines, water shoes were a necessity when we were in El Nido and Coron. Another thing to consider if you're going somewhere with beaches or lakes or anywhere where you plan to swim is having a waterproof phone case. This is not just for taking pictures, it's to keep your stuff with you. A lot of us backpackers are traveling solo, maybe with one other person, but we tend not to be in a big group of people. So having everything with you, at least for me, it gives me peace of mind. So I will put my phone in it and whatever cash I have for the day, and I keep it on me. That way I could enjoy my swim in peace without having to constantly look back and make sure that nobody's stealing my stuff. So especially if you travel solo and you're going anywhere with water, I would highly recommend this. Back to items specifically for hostels, I like to always have some kind of a tote or a backpack with me. This is good for the top bunk, whether you prefer the top bunk or even if you don't. Chances are at some point you'll be on the top bunk. So then I use this so I could hang it like on the side of my bed. That way I could have all my things with me on the top bunk, because I'll usually want my phone, my laptop, a water bottle, a book, and all of those things can't be up there while I'm sleeping. They're just gonna fall off. So I always have a bag up there that I could put them in. You'll also want a bag that you could bring to the bathroom, because sometimes you have to leave your hostel room, go outside, walk down the hall in order to get to the bathroom. So you're going to want a bag that you could put your toiletries in, your shower items, your clothes, your towel, everything. I personally use my Packable Daypack for this, but you could also use the tote that I was talking about before. Depending on where you're going, you may also want to bring Tupperware with you. This is particularly if you plan to be cooking. So if you're going to be in like Europe or Australia and you're going to make meals and you plan to have leftovers, having Tupperware can just be really helpful and convenient. So you could bring your own, or you could just buy it there. Sometimes I'll just buy it there. If you're looking to spend money though, you could also buy these collapsible containers. These will be so much better for packing, so you'll actually be able to bring it with you instead of buying it there like what I usually do. I will say, if you're planning on going somewhere cheaper though, somewhere like Southeast Asia, I personally wouldn't bring Tupperware. I don't think that most hostels in Southeast Asia even have a place like a refrigerator or anything for you to put your Tupperware important. Most people will eat out since meals are a lot cheaper. This one is basic, but don't forget your eye mask and your earplugs. This is self-explanatory. Hostels are loud and people turn lights off and on in the middle of the night. So if you'd like to sleep, they do come in handy. Sometimes earplugs aren't enough. I'm looking at you, Australia. So what you can do is you can download white noise on Spotify, and that could help you fall asleep easier when people are just being really loud. This next one isn't something that I do, but a lot of people do it. They'll bring their own pillowcase. That way they know that they're always sleeping on a clean sheet. Some people also like to bring their own sheets to be able to hang in case they don't have curtains in their hostel. Personally, I like it when they have curtains, so I will DIY my own curtain, but I usually just do it with my towel and my sarong. So you could DIY it like I do using stuff you already have, or if you have room in your backpack, you could go ahead and bring a sheet. Apple Airtags can also be a lifesaver, even if you're not checking a bag. I personally don't check a bag, but I still travel with a Apple Airtag. I think it's a lot better to know where my stuff is. I take a lot of bus rides being a backpacker, and they always take my backpack and they put it either under the bus or on top of the bus. And I have seen people's bags get stolen and lost doing this, so having the Apple AirTag gives me peace of mind. This one I have already mentioned before, so I'll quickly touch on it, but I do bring a packable day pack. The reason I do this is because it's packable, so it's easy to fit in my backpack. I also carry a rain cover with me for my backpack, and I put it in a place that's really easy to grab. I do recommend that everybody does this, even if you don't think it's going to rain where you're going, because on the off chance that it does rain, your stuff can get soaked. I have been caught in many downpours with my big backpack, and I do mean downpours where all of my stuff has gotten completely soaked. So I will never leave home without this. I think if you're backpacking, you absolutely cannot go without one. This is true for everybody, but especially if you travel with any electronics. Another thing I do recommend is a filtered water bottle. This just gives me extra security knowing that the water that I'm drinking won't make me sick. It could also save you money if you're looking to save money, since you won't have to go buy water, and it could help save the environment. This one though does leak when you get it on the plane because of the elevation. So I would recommend you look into different ones if you plan to have it on the flight with you, but I still would get some type of light straw or some type of filtered water bottle. The last thing you may want to consider looking into is a hanging toiletry kit. These can be helpful when you're in hostels. Sorry, I know that was a lot of items and this video was long. Believe it or not, I do have a lot more items to recommend. So if you did find this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. That way I will know to maybe make a part 2. Also, if you have anything to add, please do so in the comments below. That way the comments can be an extra resource for people looking to find backpacking items or items to bring to the hostel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.